This is eXp Group Insights, hosted by Anthony Serafino, where global produce, innovation, and leadership connect to drive the future of supply and success.
All right, welcome back to eXp Group Insights podcast. I am Anthony Serafino, your host, and we're live from the trade show floor, New York Produce Show, Javits Center, Hudson Yards, Hell's Kitchen area, if you're keeping score at home. And we got a lot of things we're talking about today, but I have a repeating guest here, Jesus Cavazos, flying in from McAllen, Texas, to be with us today on the pod. Hey, hi, Zeus. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for inviting me again for the podcast.
You're back on.
It's always a pleasure. And, well, yeah, we come all the way from McAllen, different weather, different vibe. I love this show because,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what makes this show so special,
well,
right?
It's our home-based show and different vibe. You know, every show is different. Every show has their own thing. And this one is like, we're home, we're New York, it's Christmas time. So I think it's the perfect combination. A lot of people, some good customers that will be been, talking the whole day. And of course, we see people from other companies as well that we do business. So it's always a great opportunity to come to these shows, to regroup, to reconnect to our partners and vendors.
It's a big thing you talked about. Yes, it is our hometown show, and it's an important show for our organization. But more importantly, Jesus, you mentioned something that I love, the client, the customer. I always joke because our COO, Framil Rodriguez, always says, at this show, it's a networking show. You're talking to clients. It's Christmas time in New York. Who doesn't love that feel? You're coming all the way from warm Texas to freezing New York City, my home. And it's really about the customer. And I think there's this new initiative that we're talking about. Not that it's a new initiative, but we're talking about our organization, how important the customer and the client is. And I think when we talk about the client and when we talk about the customer, it's the most important thing because they don't really have a show or a say in your meetings. But when you have an open space for the customer, they have an open space to speak their mind.
Yeah, we always have to keep it in mind, with all the decisions we're going to make, we got to think about how we're going to serve our customers and our partners better. Whatever we do, it's with them in mind. And I love what you did the other week. We need to have that space for them because everything we do is for them.
Every meeting needs to have an open chair for the customer. And it's something that I learned actually from Jeff Bezos, watching one of his videos and reading a lot about Amazon, about how they do some of their meetings internally, and they always have an open space for the customer. And I said, whoa, that is so rehabilitating about how looking at the client or looking at the customer that way. And I think if we look at the customer that way and we realize, wow, there's an open space for them, you can make every decision with that person in mind, whoever that person is. But they're the most important. This is what we do it for, right?
Yeah, of course. And we're growing. We're progressing in what we do, and there's different opportunities that are coming up. So we gotta continue to expand. We gotta continue to serve and to serve better our clientele, to have more diversity of products, to have more options for them because we're a one-stop shop.
Yep. And that's the goal, is really to be a one-stop shop for the customer, right?
Exactly.
And I'm going to keep saying customer, it's blue in the face because that's what it's about. But it's really diversification, right? We're here on the trade show floor, our hometown show. There is 200 other produce companies here. Why should you buy from eXp Group, right? Frescura y servicio en un mismo lugar, right? So
yeah, we're vertically integrated. We partner with excellent growers, excellent vendors in all over the country.
Yep.
Here, we have our Costa Rica, Guatemala, Ecuador, Mexico, Peru, everywhere.
You mentioned that all those countries super important, and I'm looking at, what about this beautiful coconut over here?
That's from Mexico. That's one of our great partners out of Colima, their biggest coconut facility in Mexico. So
young coconut,
and we work only with the best for our customers. So our job and my job is to find the best product available. I don't want to just be someone in this industry. We want to be the best in this industry.
You want to be the best. And I think there is such a contagion and a contagion to be the best. And I think when you operate that way with that mindset, life is a mindset game. And I think when we look at it completely, it's like, listen, we want to do things with the mindset that we're always looking to excel. And if you think about excelling, and there's this rigorous attitude to win and excel, that's what you want. You want to be the pirate, right? You want to always be looking for the treasure chest. You want to always be looking for the great vendors and how we can do that.
Of course, and always good to be on these shows. We have the best coffee.
Yeah, we do, right?
Everything.
It's a conversation. We've had so many good guests on today. We have the great coffee. I know our gentleman parlay behind the camera would be like, please don't make me pan to the coffee person. But I think coffee brings people together, right? We're obviously Italian. So coffee is part of it. Spanish. Coffee is key on the culture as well.
Of course.
So that's really everything you have. And we have this slew of people. I know the cameras can't see behind, but we have a ton of people. It is packed. It is packed here. And what we're doing, and the produce show floor is just amazing.
And the coffee is becoming a thing of EXP. I was walking the show earlier and everybody asked me, do you guys have coffee? I'm like, what kind of question is that? Of course we do.
Next question.
Yes.
I did something different this year. If you notice, we usually have the coffee on the other side, but I actually moved the coffee to this side. So you really have to work through the booth to grab the coffee. And I think that is a good way to look at it as well, right? And I think I don't know, it's just the coffee is an important point. People know. I don't know if you remember this, Jesus, because how many New York produce shows have you been to?
This is my third.
Third one.
Yes.
So before you were with our organization, we won't name the other organizations you were with before ours, but you've never come to the show before.
First time. No,
so this is year 3.
And
so 23, 24, 25.
25, correct.
Correct.
And like I said, every show, there's no like, this one is better than the other. They're all different. They all have their specialty, right?
I'm glad you brought that up. And every show is its own animal.
Yes.
Every show is so unique. And when you look about that, at how unique it is, I think the difference is what are you trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah, but when people said, "Oh, I didn't like the show," I was like, "Well, why did you go in the first place?"
That's on you. Yeah.
Because if you're going to find something that is not there, of course you're not gonna like it. But New York show, it's great for the industry, for us, and I'm glad to be here. And of course, EXP, it's hosting.
We always try to add a new flair, right?
Yeah.
Mark Volison was on the show earlier, and he said something to me. He's like, Anthony, I have to give you a lot of credit. I said, what? He's like, you always kind of know the vision of where you want to go and what the story is going to be this year.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the story, I think we really want to put the podcast at the center. We really want to move the coffee in, but what are we trying to accomplish? And I'll tell you what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to showcase what EXP Group is about. And it's quality service brand culture. It's freshness and service in the same place.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it says here. Yeah.
Yes.
Where freshness meets service. Exactly right.
We're servicing our customers.
We're servicing our clientele. We have the great Santino Montalbano here. Hey, Bello, how are you? And I think that's the most important thing. And I think when you understand that we are servicing the customer and we are showcasing what we do, it's like, wow, EXP Group, look at this. We're in the kitty tuck corner of the show. I remember the first year when we got this booth.
Yeah, no, it's a great
My
location.
father was PO'd, pissed off. I don't know if I could say that on the pod, but I think the biggest thing was he thought we were thrown in the corner. Now we've made it a destination.
It's good for the show because we're making people going all the way to the back. So
you want free coffee? Got to come all the way to the back.
All the way to the back, of course. So no, thank you, Anthony.
Well,
thank you for all you do for the company, for this organization, for the vision. I gotta give you that. Like you're always pushing us. You're always like, we can do better. And that's what I like about you and about EXP, about your father. Like, guys, you gotta continue to push. And we have a goal. We have a mentality where there's no room for not success in this company.
Yep.
You give us the tools. You guys put everything on the table. We gotta go and get it. So failure is not an option.
It's not an option, and you got to remember, life is a do-it-yourself job. We're the Home Depot. We have the tools to succeed. Keep pushing. Always excel, and it's an important thing for us, Jesus.
And something that I always say to the team in Texas: we provide you a ladder.
Where do you want to climb?
It's up to you how
it's
many
on you.
steps you want to go. But the ladder is there.
The ladder is there. I always use the example about the airplane. Airplane typically has first class, business class, premium economy. Where do you want to sit? And I think when you look at an organization, you really need to sit down and have the talk with your organization and your team members and the people that work for your organization, realize, where do you want to sit?
Of course.
What class? I know what class I want to sit in.
Of course.
And it's a big chair, very comfy, maybe some caviar. But you got to put yourself there and keep pushing.
Let's do it. Go EXP.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Anthony.
Jesus Cavazos with
Thank you
us
very
again.
much.
Thank you so much. Jesus Cavazos live from the trade show floor here at Javits Center, New York Produce Show, EXP Group Insights. We're with you all day long, and we're excited to continue to bring some internal, some external, some good content about the industry. We're looking forward to it.
Go
Stay tuned.
EXP.
Yes, go EXP.